Alright, so CPI expectation. I broke my hanger, but anyway, CPI expectation. We have to talk about CPI expectation. CPI is going to be dropping next week on a Thursday or Wednesday, depending on where you are in the time zones. Most likely going to be Wednesday, which is why I want to get the expectation out today. Alright, but anyway, before we actually talk about CPI expectation, we also have to talk about varying different factors that's going to be affecting the macroeconomy. Okay, first of all, we have to talk about what happened in the FOMC that just happened 2 days ago. If you have not watched the video yet, just click somewhere up here, I guess. Okay, you're gonna get my summary video for FOMC. Okay, basically it's less than 12 minutes. You can get everything summarized down, whatever Jerome Powell did to the market. And we have to talk about why today this CPI expectation is going to be important as well. Okay, and of course, I think that every single month CPI expectation has always been important, which is why I always cover the expectation and summary, always constantly going through the covering of the CPI. The only reason why we have to keep on doing that is because inflation is going out of control right now. And with how inflation is going out of control at the moment, we need to find a way to see where we can see a deflationary trend happen. Right now, with the Cleveland Federal Reserve, the Cleveland Feds, they're actually thinking that the expectation for the October CPI, which is of course reported next week, is going to come out at a 0.76% month over month. So let's just round it down to 0.7% month over month. That's a horrible number. For anyone who looks at the market like I do, we know for a fact that a 0.7% month over month increase is going to be destroying the market. Especially 3 months back when we had super duper low inflation month over month, where Biden had to even come out to say, hey, America got 0% month over month increase in inflation this month. That was such a huge thing, because people thought that that was the peak and that is when we are going to start to go back down in terms of inflation. But that simply wasn't the case, because inflation continued to build up and up and up. If anything, there was no sort of like a stabilizing at a 0% rate for a consistent 2 to 3 months. If anything, we only have a 0% and a 0.1%. And even the 0.1%, we are kind of expecting negative 0.3%. So you can kind of see the trend is all over the place. Personally, right now, for my own expectation, I do think that we are most likely going to be closer to the Cleveland Feds, which is they are expecting it to be at 0.7%. Personally, I feel at 0.5% will most likely be the case. I think that the Cleveland Feds are very, very hawkish, and they do like to put their targets slightly higher up, which is why their forecast is slightly higher up. However, I do think that inflation is probably going to be at like about 0.5% month over month. And mind you, the thing is that a 0.5% might sound very, very high, which of course it is for a month over month data. But at the same time, what is actually causing all this? Because right now we don't really have a lot of information saying that, what is actually causing this current price spike. Oil prices is slightly slowing down a little bit. Airline fares are probably starting to stabilize in prices a little bit. Food prices is definitely going to still be going up 1%. Okay, food prices have been going up a consistent 1 to 2% every single month for the last year. Okay, so food prices is going to be, well, kind of just up in the air. We are expecting food prices to go up about 1% as well. I'm thinking used cars and trucks, it used to be a huge issue, but I think that the supply chain issues has already been fixed. So I don't think the used cars and trucks, those are going to be applying a lot of pressure to this current CPI. However, I do think that we are going to be getting an across-the-board increment in prices. So instead of us having a certain sector suddenly having a 26% increase or having a 14% increase, I feel that it's going to be more of a gradual increase for every single sector. It's just going to be a mild inflation on every single item. Okay, so if this actually were to happen, there's going to be two different things that could happen. Okay, the first is that the market is going to be a little bit upset after looking at the 0.5%. For example, according to my own scenario, the market is going to be very upset to look at the 0.5% increment, and then afterwards they actually look in between the line of the whole entire report, and they realize that this 0.5% isn't actually very, very scary. It's actually a gradual increase of every single thing. Everything is just up by 0.3 or 0.4 or 0.8%, and kind of have that whole thing just average out at about 0.5%. If that would be the case, and then afterwards the market will kind of just come back up again, they will just recover from the huge drop they're gonna get after seeing a 0.5% increase. However, the moment we have a particular item that is going to be a huge contributor, for example, oil prices or food prices or shelter prices or even your supply chain prices and such, commodities in general, if any of this become a core contributor to the CPI data for next week's inflation, then probably yes, I don't think a recovery would be coming immediately in that day or the day after. If anything, we are probably going to be seeing a lot of pain afterwards as well. Okay, and of course we have to also put this into context with all the jobs all the jobs report that we're actually getting right now. Apart from the jobs report that we're also getting, you have to talk about big companies pausing hiring. Okay, you saw, well, I mean, earlier this year we already saw Snapchat, we already saw all those Facebook and Meta platforms, okay, Google doing their pausing of hiring. Just this week, we already received news that Apple is freezing hiring, Amazon is freezing hiring, Lyft is freezing hiring, and Twitter is firing 3,700 employees off Twitter. Okay, so of course Twitter, I'm talking about Elon Musk firing people, not really just Twitter. But anyway, all these people are, you can really see that there is going to be a huge job deficit, and that's going to be affecting more for the next FOMC meeting. I hope that you guys get my drift. This is going to be all a contributing factor to the next FOMC, which is why it's very, very important for you to really see what Jerome Powell actually said 2 days ago when he was saying, you know, we're not even in the restrictive level just yet. Okay, we're not even restrictive just yet. Because once all these jobs start to get paused, start to get frozen, the jobs market is going to be cold. The jobs market is not going to be as hot as it was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. That's not going to be the case anymore. Okay, we're going to have a very, very cold jobs market, and then Jerome Powell will then have to come out and just be like, okay, you know, the jobs market is not doing as well, and I don't think that we can continue to raise rates. Now this would be a good time. Now this would be a good time for us to pause the rates. And that's kind of how everyone is kind of thinking. That is the pathing or the process that's going to be happening from here on out. Or at least that's my own opinion on how that's going to go up. But yeah, anyway, I'm not sure how the inflation data is going to go. Personally, I really hope that it is a gradual increase if we were to follow the Cleveland Fed's forecast. Of course, ultimately, if we were to get something like a 0.2%, 0.1%, anything deflationary, I can assure you that the market is going to rally 2 to 3%. Anything deflationary, we see a negative 0.1%, we're good. Okay, because that will be the first deflationary number that we had in over 2 years or 3 years. Something stupid. Okay, we have never gotten a single deflationary number in a month-over-month data. That's how bad it is right now. So if we were to get a deflationary number for the first time, I can assure you indexes are going to go up 3%, 2 to 3%. If you're going to get a 0.1, 0% to 0.3%, most likely we're going to see a little bit of a drop, maybe a little bit of sideways market and such. Anything above 0.4%, I can tell you the market's going to go down, which is why I really want to look at it quite closely to ensure that, you know, a lot of my positions are actually covered properly. But anyway, that's all I have for the expectation video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you guys enjoyed this sort of video, you know, drop like down below and also subscribe to my channel. Okay, I really want to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. But anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.